As the crowd continues to file in, we are set to go. One game awaits. Destiny on the line in the American Football Association and a chance to go to the first ever AFA championship game to fight for the Evan Lacey Trophy. Welcome in. It is the New York Giants and the Oakland Raiders. Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon with you. Big thanks, of course, to Commissioner Brady White and the entire staff at the American Football Association. DJ, as I said, this game going to determine a winner to go on and play in the AFA Championship. My friend, it is, as we've said, all four teams in the running still. If you are the Giants, you got a shot at it, maybe an outside underdog chance. What are you going to do to keep up with the Flying Raiders, top of the league, as a matter of fact?
Well, I'll tell you what, Cam. If you're the Giants in this game playing the Raiders, you need to play a complete game of football. We know the Raiders can play all the way through games, so if you come out hot, score a few early touchdowns, and kind of fizzle out, that's not going to be enough tonight. These Raiders score all the way through, so you need to keep up your defense, keep it consistent, and score points through all four quarters of this game.
The beautiful, very, February-like weather here in Oakland. A gorgeous day, and as I like to say, you're not going to go anywhere for the next four quarters. I can guarantee that. The New York Giants will get a chance to start. They will set up their shop at the 27-yard line, led by quarterback Eric Alexander. In the backfield, it's the fullback James White and the two halfbacks Jermaine Hawk and Arnold Simpson. The wide receivers are Emmett Ellis, Malik Sadneighbors, and Tino Austin. And at tight end, it is Ace Milley, rounding out our offensive starters for the AFA here on the New York Football Giants. As we said, Giants at the bottom of the league, but because of the four-team playoff schedule here, the way that the bracket is made. Oh, we got a on the first play, and Oakland gets it back. Well, that's not how you want to start. As I was going to say, you got a shot to get in, but you're not going to be able to do it starting like that.
I mean, talk about early hardship. Arnold Simpson, I mean, he stays consistent with the his assignment. You know, he breaks to the outside. The blocks are there, but eventually he gets hit by Tyron Voss. That's Tyron Voss out there, the corner, who's able to get a hand in there, punch out that football in a very congested defensive backside of the field. What a play there from the Raiders early on.
Well, a quick flip of the table, and we've got now quarterback Brady White for the Oakland Raiders. Starting from the Giant 30-yard line, they hand it off to Ashton Genty, who runs for 4. That'll bring up second and 6. Let's introduce you to this Raiders starting lineup. We mentioned Brady White, the hottest quarterback in the league by far. The running backs Ashton Genty and Isabella Maccabees. The wide receivers Dillian Voss, Trevor Austin, Chris Collinsworth, and Brian Kowalski. And at tight end, it is number 81, Dangles. Here is a second and 6. Is a give to Tangenti, who pops out left side, has an edge. Oh, man, missing, goes to the house. Touchdown. He faked out Cam Sadscat, beat him to that angle, and then turned on the Jets.
I mean, you cannot have possibly a worse start than that if you are a New York Giants fan. There is a score that quickly, and it's by the team that did not even start with the football. That has to be a telltale for the way the rest of this game is going to play. 2 runs for the Raiders, result in a touchdown. Oh, maybe a step out of bounds. I see a challenge flag here, but for now it's 6.
Yeah, for the moment it stands. It will be interesting to see if we get that call in from the sidelines. And DJ, they're going to let that stand, I believe. On for the kick, and it is good. 7-0 with 7:15 at just 45 seconds off of the clock in this one. And as you said, the Giants started with the ball, turns it over on the first play, and the Raiders capitalize.
You know, I can't imagine you come out this time and get much worse than you did that first time. You know, we always talk about how good this Raiders secondary is. They show that again with one of their corners getting involved in the run defense, forcing that fumble. So I really think that's the matchup to watch tonight here, Cam. See if they can clean up their offense here a little bit.
Yeah, so, behind the 8 ball to start things off for the New York Giants. Arnold Simpson putting it on the ground. Going to have to try to recover from that. And it starts with the arm of Eric Alexander, who is going to have a really clean day through there. Their last outing was a rough one, as we've seen. And here is a shovel pass forward. That was a rough-looking formation there. We've got a flag, an eligible receiver. Well, that would make sense as that just felt like a big discombobulation of sorts, DJ.
Yeah, that was just a big conglomeration of players right there at the line of scrimmage. It's hard to get one of those off, in that area, especially with how many, they were bringing a lot of linebackers close to the line of scrimmage there.
Back 5 yards for the Giants. Alexander under center. Drops back, gonna throw, gets all of that back. That's a nice strike. That's what you're gonna have looking in the direction of Tino Austin for the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Get Eric Alexander started and get his confidence high. That's a great route. Again, Tyron Voss, the one playing tight coverage, but the receiver just gets one step, and that was all Alston needed, was just that little bit of separation.
So they're able to get himself out of that early deficit. Here is Alexander going to throw toward the sidelines. Complete attainment, Ellis. Not sure how Ellis was able to reel that one in. That was a fine line right there, but he is able to snag it and get the first.
I love seeing the confidence here from Alexander. Despite Voss making that play early on, he has no shame in targeting him. That one right past the defender, attacking the sideline and the safety blanket, if you will. Catches it, still manages to keep himself in bounds and gain a few extra.
And for the Giants, they're coming into hostile territory. The black hole has never been an easy place to play. And so they've got the home crowd against them, too. Here's pressure coming, and Alexander rolled right out in front of it. That's DeMarcus Demolition, who does some demolishing for a big loss.
Yeah, he had that one read the whole way. He went wide around the edge. The closest blocker to him was the halfback in the backfield. But even then, he had to cover the defensive end who got around the edge, leaving Demolition wide open for the sack.
Alexander on second and long, going to throw it short, but there is Simpson, who's able to turn it upfield, gets a really good chunk of yardage back to set up a third and manageable. While we have a moment, let's mention this Oakland defense. The defensive tackles, Colin Richards and Kevin Beers. The linebackers, Nono Drew and DeMarcus Demolition, who we just mentioned. The cornerbacks are Tater Tots and Tyron Voss, and at safety, it's Van Lacey and DJ Kilgannon. Big 3rd and 5 coming here. Who's going to prevail? Alexander throws down the seam. It's complete to Ellis once more. A good-looking drive here by the Giants is starting to formulate.
Yeah, it seems like they've found something they like in that one-on-one coverage with Voss. And again, it's that same route, Cam, kind of just a post leading up the middle. The wide receiver taking the inside of the route, cutting inside past the corner and shooting towards the middle, leaving the corner trailing behind. It's complete again.
Alexander again to throw. Ellis inside the 10. A little bit of separation there. He's able to fit that one into a pretty good-sized window. It's 1st and goal for the G-Man.
Yeah, they're continuing to pass in these areas right behind the linebackers, kind of where the linebackers and safety zones meet almost, so that, where there's a soft spot. They know how heavily these Raiders rely on their defensive backs. They're throwing it short like that is a smart strategy.
Here is a little delay handoff to Simpson, who is able to power forward for 2 before he's brought down around the knees. I believe that was Briggs who got the stop. So 2nd and goal now coming up.
Yeah, we talked about their hardships on the first drive. The Giants have completely changed the rhetoric and are coming out with a very strong drive this go-out.
Alexander with a good pocket to throw to. It's tapped. Hipped away, Tyron Voss, the man there again, like you said, playing that coverage, and he almost had the interception.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cam, they go for a similar thing, attacking that same area. 2 Raiders there, almost able to take that one the other way. But that strategy isn't going to work past the 10-yard line. The field shortens. Your defensive backs are closer to you rather than the previous plays. If they keep going with that, we could see more risky throws.
Giants with one more opportunity to punch it in from the 6-yard line. 3rd and goal, going to step up and throw.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to get him for an illegal forward pass past this line of scrimmage.
Not often you're going to see that penalty at all, but he certainly did it. I mean, it looked like he was trying to take it away, take it for himself, run ahead, and Maybe he saw a defender coming at him, got a little nervous, and just chucked it.
You could tell he wanted to try to float that over top of the receiver in the back corner of the end zone, but just 1 foot too far over the line. Now comes on Lee Kibble to attempt the field goal. The kick is good. This Giants squad, the special teams, getting some relief with Lee Kibble coming on board for this game, as that's been one of their weak areas. This is already looking a lot better for them.
Yeah, a lot of these teams here in the AFA have struggled a little bit with their kicking game. The 49ers come to mind. Like you said, the Giants as well. Thankfully going to get some help in this one. They close out a really nice drive with, unfortunately for them, a field goal, but still points are points.
Speaking of, the 49ers did indeed get a kicker on their special teams unit as well. So, again, folks, this is our opportunity to tell you, as this regular season, now the playoffs rather, come to a close, we want to remind everybody, get in on this action of the AFA. Season 2 is coming. Expansion teams, Dallas and Pittsburgh, going to be coming into the fold. Positions will be opening and needing field. If you like what you see and you want to contribute, get on our Discord server. You might be like Ashton Genty, who can streak across the field and pick up 12 yards. Easy peasy.
Yeah, and what a great run that was. Look at the hole made by the offensive line, and look at the receivers downfield blocking as well. Great block all the way downfield. That's Dillian Voss. I mean, not giving up on the play whatsoever.
So it is 1st and 10. Clock moving here in this first quarter. In the backfield quickly is this Giants defense. That is Brody White with a wrap-up tackle and a loss.
Yeah, the Whites going up against each other in this one, the linebacker and the quarterback. A huge read there, able to shoot the gap to perfection and shut down that run. Surprised he even got back to the line there.
You see an adjustment by the Giants there. They were looking to show pressure and backed out of it. Now we got a man in motion. I believe that is Dillian Voss. A throw out of the backfield screen to Tangenti, who maybe gets 2. 3rd and 8, and this is a good chance to mention this Giants defense. The defensive ends are Slappy Clappy and Marcus Kane. The middle linebackers are Brody White, as we mentioned, and the Joker. The cornerbacks are William Simpson and Billy Millie. And at safeties, it's Esteban Jaquez and Cam Sadscat at free safety. Showing pressure. It's picked up. Brady White to throw. Unloads, and it's off the mark. It's bobbled, contested indeed, but at the end, the Giants able to deliver a blow that knocks the ball loose.
Looked like that one hit Voss in the hands, and if it did, you got to be able to hold on to it. Very tight throw for Brady. Had to thread the needle through a couple bodies, but still found the mark. But the defense on the later half of the play was just too good.
A good opportunity here, DJ, for us to give an attaboy to this Giants defense, which we will do as this is fielded and run up to the 19-yard line. We've talked about this Giants defense, how at times they have been the strong suit of this team. Again, that defense showing out on that last drive against a very volatile Brady White and the Raiders.
Yep.
1st and 10 for Alexander and the New York Giants. As we said, from the 19, Alexander with a good pocket, going to throw the screen to fullback James White, who picks up 3, and that is where that play will end.
Yeah, they're going with these halfback flat passes a lot. We saw one with Arnold Simpson earlier that cut it down to 3rd and 5, and just trying to get your ball carriers into open space. It's a nice strategy.
Indeed, as it is 2nd and 7. Alexander again going to throw out in the flat. That's Emmett Ellis, who turns on the Jets upfield down the sidelines for a 1st and 10.
Yeah, nice route there. Voss dropped back into a deeper zone, and that left the out route here just completely wide open. You can see him trying to play catch-up there. Once he realized the route was happening, didn't have enough time to go over there and, actually play coverage. So all he could do at that point was just try and track him down and make the tackle.
Got to tell you, and this is a topic we can touch on in a minute, DJ, when we have a break, but this Giants offense with some different formations. Oh, but you gotta clean that up. They're going to get an illegal forward pass again on Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't have that. That's just a discipline issue there.
You know, it kind of goes back to the point I was about to make, DJ. They are trying some different things, maybe a little bit
Yep,
too aggressive for what they're able to take on at this moment, but you can tell that this is a different offensive playbook than what we've seen in weeks past.
yep, absolutely.
We've got 2nd and 16 now after the infraction. Alexander, for the second time in this game already, got the penalty for illegal forward pass. This time he stands in the pocket, securely throws over the middle, tipped, and away it goes, incomplete. Boy, 3rd and 16, and how looming is that penalty now? Because this drive again for the Giants was looking pretty good.
Yeah, detrimental. You know how good this Raiders defensive backs are at taking away the football. So if you throw it deep, you have that chance of turning it over. So interesting to see the play call here.
Trips to the left. Here's Alexander,
Oh,
stands
man.
in there too long, and he gets buried by Kevin Beers.
And speaking of Beers, he better get one on the sideline after that play, Cam. You push the Giants back even farther, making them pump from even farther away, meaning your returner is going to catch it closer, to the half field point. Right. Oh, wow, what a punt. Right inside the 30, makes it to the 40. Yeah, I mean, that little bit of yardage later on could make a difference.
Indeed. And like you said, for Kevin Beers, he's definitely got a cold one on tap for that sack.
I hope so.
Absolutely. Ball on the 40-yard line now for the Raiders with 1:07 remaining in this first quarter. Brady White hands it off to the ever-reliable Tangenti, who runs for 2.
Yeah, a whole bunch of defenders ready and waiting there, kind of sat up inside the box. You had a pulling guard that tried to get out in front and make a block, just couldn't find a body, leaving Tangenti to fight off the horde alone.
Giants again showing pressure. Brody White up there on the line. Here he comes, breaking through, gets in the face of Brady White.
Wow!
He throws a dart to a wide open Trevor Austin down the sidelines. Touchdown, Oakland. Wow.
Wow, what a play. You said it from the jump. Brody, applies the pressure. He shoots the gap to perfection. Looks like it's going to be a sack, untouched, but he barely gets the throw off, connecting it with Trevor Austin across the complete other side of the field. What a play, and what awareness by Brady White to sense that pressure and, find an open target in that little time.
And throw an incredible pass, beautiful spiral, pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
The battle between Brady versus Brody continues. Brady gets the better of that one. It's now 14-3. Oakland over the Giants, and there you see the celebratory atmosphere on the sidelines for the Oakland. This is a good start to this game with 32 seconds remaining in the first.
Yeah, this is a team we've talked about being so explosive in games. This is a team that can take the top off of a defense at any given point like we just saw there.
So the Giants now, once again, in a deficit. They would, as Macho Man Randy Savage might would say, unjustifiably in a position I would rather not be in. Mm-hmm. Down by 10 points at the end, or at the final seconds, I should say, of this first quarter. Actually, make that 11, excuse me, after the extra point. Although the Giants have been able to show that they are able to have some firepower about them today, they got to turn those field goals into touchdowns and clean up some of the penalties. Here's Alexander, stands in there, throws. He had Emmett Ellis, but it was the hand of, guess who? Tyron Voss, who gets in the way.
Yeah, it seems like they've kind of grown weary of that play. Is very similar to the ones before. So they had Voss kind of playing more shallow so he could, make sure to stay in front of that receiver on that route, because him getting behind is what caused the completions earlier.
2nd and 10, showing pressure. Alexander going to float this one up, finds Ellis. We have a flag. Let's see who it's going to go against.
Looked like face mask.
Number 33.
Yep.
Yeah. Good eye there, DJ. Incidental face mask. Of course, the Giants will accept the extra yardage.
Great pass there against the cover 2 defense. That's exactly what you want to do against a cover 2 defense, right? You're splitting those safeties. That seam route, you have Kilgannon and Lacey split up, playing their 2 deep zones, and you kind of just attack the open area in between them and try and do so before they can get there.
Final play of the quarter, toss play to Simpson, makes 2 men miss, gets out, and somehow he was about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he gets the first down.
3 defenders making contact with him early on. Contact there, breaks a tackle. That's 4 people to bring him down. 3 of those defenders getting shrugged off.
So we are off and running in this AFA playoff matchup. The Raiders lead the Giants 14-3. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. Start of the second quarter. Cameron and DJ here with you on the call. The winner with a chance to go play for the Evan Lacey Championship Trophy. 1st and 10 I formation for the New York Giants. The Patriots are awaiting. Who's going to join them? What a run this time by Arnold Simpson. And I got to give an attaboy. It's a good mix of run-pass for the Giants. Pretty balanced so far today.
Yeah, and we've asked for more of Arnold Simpson getting involved in this offense for weeks on end, and it seems like he is certainly getting some momentum behind him in this game.
Certainly looks that way. On 2nd and 2, he's going to do his part and just lunge forward for the first as they were grabbing him around the ankles.
Great effort and fight. This is, some spunk we haven't seen out of him in games past. Got hit behind the line, still somehow managed to fight ahead and force himself past that first down line.
Tino Austin going to go in motion as he is tracked by Tyron Voss. Keep an eye on that matchup, folks, top of your screen. Alexander steps up, throws. It's
my goodness.
Off the hands of Tyron Voss. He certainly didn't quit on that play and almost come up with the interception.
Yeah, hot potato there. Voss batted it down. It bounced off of the top safety, Evan Lacey, then back to the hands of Voss. Cam, we almost saw another one of those forward pass penalties. Eric Alexander was just behind the line. Got to keep it back in the pocket.
It's like he's just all over a landmine, and he's just about to step on it. Yes.
Yeah, he's very antsy.
Alexander now going to throw middle seam. That's a nice completion to Malik Sadneighbors, his first grab of the day.
Yep, Tater Tots is in the area, but Sadneighbors, a big body. You see him coming up the middle there, and this is what we talked about. You see Tots playing off of that outside shoulder of the receiver. If that ball is placed right towards the middle of the field, there's nothing you can do. You can't get around the receiver in time to make a play without penalizing.
1st and 10, you see the line shift there for the Raiders. And look at Alexander going to take off and show some speed. Gets the 1st and 10 and catches us all off guard.
See, now seeing that play, the forward pass penalties make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Cam, it almost seems like that's what he has been waiting for. That's the play he's been trying to make, but the circumstances just haven't been right. But on that play, you saw the linebackers split like Eric Alexander was Moses, and they were the Red Sea.
Yeah, absolutely. Great analysis there, my friend. Here is a give. Up the middle now to the right side of the formation. It's Simpson who finishes this great drive off. Touchdown, New York.
It's so similar to their last drive, Cam, where, they will challenge. I think even if they don't get it, you still see a Giants. Well, you're going to at least see points for the Giants. But they're running the ball so well, they'll probably punch it in regardless. This is very similar to their last drive, very consistent. But this time, they're just able to finish at the end of it.
Indeed, and I look forward to getting these multiple angles that we have to offer for you folks in this replay challenge. Let's look at Simpson. I think it's going to stand.
Yeah, that was a terrible angle, and I still think it stands.
Oh!
We're in Oakland.
I beg your pardon. Well, I know what you want to say.
You want me to say that the Giants brought the refs from home?
Yeah, well, I don't believe the Giants would have brought them from home.
Well, they must have.
Sent by Boston.
Yeah, they brought them from that general area.
They brought them from the East Coast, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. And kind of an egregious call there, folks. But it is 2nd and goal. The Giants left to punch this one in. Second time's the charm. Even a better hole to run through that time. It's Simpson once more.
You know, if I'm a Giants fan here, I'm a player on the Giants or in their front office, that challenge call kind of bothers me a little bit because that keeps a timeout in the pocket of the Raiders later on that they may need on a call, and then that, in my opinion, should not have been called the way it was called, and now you have an extra timeout to play with later.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. That is a great point to make, DJ, as Lee Kibble adds an extra point to a 10-play, 66-yard drive that lasted 2 minutes and 18 seconds. This is a good time for me to ask this question, DJ, because, there's a reason I'm on play-by-play and you are, as we say, on analyst, because you do such a good job of analyzing the ins and outs, the X's and O's. Is it me, or are the Giants making a conscious effort to target the inside seams and throw to the inside of their wideouts? More slants, more inside post.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This offense knows that this Raiders defense relies on pressuring the quarterback and playing good deep defense. They drop their safeties deep a ton. That, or they're playing their safeties close to the line of scrimmage and, protecting the run. Right, so whenever they have them that deep, it's just one-on-one with your corners, and whenever you take the inside as a receiver, it's almost impossible for the corner to stop you, and that's what they're taking advantage of on offense.
Well, partner, you seen the same thing I did. I thought Ashton Genty was about to blast off into another zip code there. Yeah. In the end, it is a gain of 5, which brings up 2nd and 5. This first half moving pretty steadily here. 5:45 remaining in the second. 4-man front here with a little pressure on the outside. Brady White going to throw. Complete White so far. He's had a pretty quiet day. He did have the big touchdown pass, but other than that, we haven't heard a lot out of Brady White yet.
Yet, yes, key word. We talked, in last week's broadcast about how this Raiders squad sometimes, they either start slow and heat up late, or they get hot and they tend to stay hot, especially when it comes to putting up points in bunches. So you could see White explode with some stats later on.
Contested that. Yeah, that was Esteban Jaquez, who made just enough fair interference, we'll call it, to break up that potential first down grab.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the area. I think I saw a 27 in the area as well, both in prime position to make a play. Risky throw from the gunslinger.
2nd and 10. Here's White, 3-step drop, throws it over the head of everybody. It's tipped away as it looked for just a moment. It was going to be brought in by Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, and thankfully there for the Giants, Billy Millie, who was trailing, that ball not led far enough out in front of the receiver, allowing Millie, who was in that trail coverage, to get a hand up there and bat it down.
Ball on the 43-yard line for the Oakland Raiders. Here is
a
forward shovel to Tangenti, who runs for the first. Great play design, good blocking out front, and it keeps the drive going.
See now, Cam, those are the spots I want to see the Raiders use this play in. Not 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8. Try it on a 1st and 10 or a 2nd and medium, right, where a defense isn't really expecting, a fake-out shovel pass up the middle. They tried it, and it worked to perfection.
DJ, this goes back to the thought that we were kind of throwing around last week when we made the comment that it felt like there were some playbooks kind of being tested out here, different things that we were seeing. There's Tangenti again. But you and I had spoken to the fact that we felt like some teams were just throwing everything out there and seeing what they might could take into the postseason. That play, one of them.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that play for a while now for the Raiders, right? Last week as well. And it kind of felt like just flushing it out, finding when it worked best, finding when not to use it. And I feel like the Raiders quickly learned when and when not to use that play, partly probably because of our judgment.
2nd and 3, indeed, as we have a man in motion. That's the tight end Dangles, who moves out wide. Here it is again to Tangenti, bulldozing forward. Going to be a yard short. And I got to tell you, that is Millie with the stop. But 3rd and 1 is not a place you want to be if you're a defense going up against these Raiders.
That is exactly right. The playbook's wide open, but I'd love to see them just hand it off right up the middle. Don't try anything cute. Don't do any of that weird stuff. Just punch it up right through their mouth. Oh,
And
wow.
they're going to be denied. In the backfield was Brody White. He won that battle. The Giants are going to have to look at punting here.
Yeah, they sure will. And, they're already past the 40. This is a rough spot to have to be forced to punt. A great stand from New York's defense. I saw that 3rd and short and for sure thought Tangenti would be able to at least get a yard. But the linebackers there of New York able to make a huge play.
Another flag on the play. Yep.
Talk about discipline.
Face mask, number 96, offense. 15-yard.
And it feels in so many ways, DJ, that the Raiders have been one of the cleaner teams that we have had an opportunity to call. Now is not the time to be, making some of these silly infractions. But, you got to wonder, hey, this is a chance to go play for the Evan Lacey Trophy. You know that there are some jitters and some anxiousness.
Jitters. Absolutely.
Yeah. 1st and 10. Alexander going to do it again. Takes off, and he has found his feet, literally. Gain of 6.
He needs to be careful. They have some hitters out there on this defense. I mean, one of their players is literally named Demolition. So please be careful. Maybe, hit a nice baseball slide at the end of those runs.
Now, that is true. Needs to work on that. Oh, it's fun seeing him scramble, but he's got to get down as Simpson gets close to the first. It's quickly 3rd and 1.
Speaking of Demolition, able to bring him down just before making that first down. Curious to see what the Giants do here. Maybe throwing out to the flat here to Simpson, try and get him involved.
Shotgun, and they want Simpson to really stretch this thing out wide, and Oakland had other plans.
See now, Cam, I'll tell you what. That last, 3rd and short attempt, we saw both offenses back-to-back go into those 3rd and shorts. The first thing I said when Oakland did it was don't get too cute. Then they do a bunch of motion in the backfield and Tangenti gets swallowed up right as the handoff's getting there. And then the Giants do a cross-body handoff to the outside. I mean, those are the exact things you're talking about, right? Just fundamental football in those situations. Just stay ahead of the sticks. And, they don't. And it certainly bites them both in the butt.
Yeah, indeed. So 2 drives where both teams have to punt it away. It was a whale of a punt, by the way. Oakland will start from their 28-yard line. This is going to be playing perfectly into Brady White's favor, though. 2:10 remaining in the second. Plenty of time to work here. Yep. Here's Tangenti on the run. Makes a man miss. Gets close to the sticks. Another 8-yard gain on 1st down.
Yeah, another great run there. I love to see them not shy to run the ball despite time ticking down in this quarter. They still want to play their style of football. They don't want to let the time or the Giants dictate their game script here.
We've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half, folks, and it's been a good one so far. Oakland with the lead. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. You get a chance to look at the stats there for Tangenti, who has 64 yards on the day, almost averaging 6 yards per carry. That's incredible. 2nd and 2, they give it to him again.
Whoa, what a hit.
Yeah, and it's 1st and 10.
Yep, there we go. See that, Cam? That right there. Trying to ride up the middle, get your, back that can break plenty of tackles. We've seen him do it all season long, and let him just punch it ahead of the chains.
Clock moving. Man in motion. That's Dillian Voss. Brady White's going to throw it deep, rolling out, double coverage, tipped away by the Joker.
Yeah, great coverage there. Not often do you see a big linebacker that far down the field in coverage. And, to be honest, that just felt like almost a trap play. That was similar to the rollout we saw on one of the earlier drives, Cam, where they had that huge explosive reception with Trevor Austin. Same exact play, and it seems like he just wanted to kind of go back to that well.
So White again going to throw toward the left sideline. There, he's got his hand. That's Austin once more.
Oh, wow.
A little shimmy to stay in bounds. 1st and 10, working their way to the red zone just outside of it.
I mean, why to break that tackle on the sideline? Got skinny.
Incredible. White going to go again. Lobs it up. Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Coverage. And look there. Austin comes down with it at the goal line.
Trevor Austin having a day in this receiving core. My memory may be failing me, but I can't even remember a big catch from any other Raider receiver in this game up to this point.
No, not to this point. White going to throw again, making quick use of this 2-minute drive, and that's tipped away, but another flag here.
Holding. Number 53, offense.
Oh,
yeah, that'll hurt.
From the spot
yeah,
of
it
the
will.
foul. Repeat first down.
As that is unfortunate for the Raiders there. That'll push them back. Let's see if we can see the hold here. Yeah,
Let them play.
I was going to say I don't. That one felt like it was a little bit tacky for me.
I like to hear you say that, partner.
Well, I've we've had a lot of years together, my friend, here in the booth, and you're just rubbing off on me. What can I say? Bad call's a bad call's a bad call all day long. First and goal.
Oh,
Jinty pumping out left
Wow.
side. And that maybe was the separation that they needed, that space to run that play and get him out there in the flat. Touchdown, Oakland.
we've been talking about it all night, right? Just let your big halfback do what he does. He can clearly break tackles. Look at that one right there. Getting off of the free safety. More often than not in a run, you want to get your back in a one-on-one tackle scenario with a defensive back. That's something you push for as a coach, right? And they got that exact situation there, and Tangenti showed why that's what you usually go for.
The extra point is good. Oakland extends their lead to 11 with 47 seconds remaining in the half. We said it after the Giants had to, unfortunately punt that ball away, even though they were able to pin the Raiders back on their 28-yard line to start the drive. You don't want to put the ball in Brady White's hands with that much time left. You see the result. Now, 47 seconds, as we said, left in the half. What does the Giants do? They start with a good run back here across the 30, out to the 35, still on his feet. And that was Jermaine Hawk who gets close to the 40.
I'll toss you up a layup here, Cam. I feel like we'll have to start calling Brady White the Diamond. You know why that is?
Because he's a jewel, I would assume. But
Close.
give me your analysis there.
That young man thrives under pressure. He fights through
like a chunk of
adversity,
coal.
the pressure on his back, and he comes out sparkling on the other side.
There you go. And Alexander on the other end trying to do a little of the same. Are they going to get pass interference?
Wow.
Number 27, defense.
Oh, they get Voss.
The spot of the foul.
Let's see here.
Automatic first down.
Coach clearly not happy about it.
Yeah, well, let's see just how egregious this call is.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, he had a chance to catch it. And,
First and 10.
I don't know. I don't hate it as much as the others.
Yeah, that's an improvement.
It is.
We'll take it. Alexander gonna throw into double coverage.
There it goes.
It's tipped away. And Tyron Voss says, "Take that." Ends the drive. Back out to the Oakland 37. That's the first interception of the day for Alexander.
There couldn't have been a worse time and position on the field to throw that interception. You kept testing Tyron Voss, and eventually he made you pay. Way too risky of a throw. Two defenders on him. You overthrow it a little bit, and Tyron Voss finally gets his, putting Oakland on their own 37, Cam. 30 seconds here for these Brady White-led Oakland Raiders to play.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that stings so badly is because the Giants were at least in a position to send their new kicker Lee Kibble out there to get at least 3 points. White going to throw, tipped away. Good defense once more by the Giants. That's William Simpson, the cornerback.
That was one of the best plays we've seen from them all night. You saw Simpson wasn't anywhere near the receiver, but he had the athleticism and awareness to be able to jump from his shallower coverage to still be able to get a hand on it.
So now it's all about just trying to stop this Oakland offense from putting any more points on the board before you got to head to the halftime break. And it's a tough task. Four-man front with pressure coming in. There it is, hitting the gaps hard. Stops them right at the line. 3rd and 10 now coming up.
Yep, seems like they're pretty content taking this to the half with how they're, starting to play on this drive.
37-yard line.
Final seconds ticking away. Brady White's going to do a shovel pass to Tangenti. It's guarded well. We go to the halftime break with an 11-point lead for the Raiders over the Giants. This game, though, still very much hangs in the balance. Been a good one so far. We welcome you in to our AFA halftime break. Cameron and DJ here, of course, with you. 2 quarters down, 2 quarters left to play. Let's take a look at these first half stats, and we'll discuss those as well as what's to come in the next 2 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, this game, Cam, you see, is just, I feel like it's a battle of New York being a little bit too predictable. Their first 2 drives were astounding. Well, excuse me, their second and third drive were astounding. Their first ended in disaster with an early Oakland score whenever they started with the ball. Oakland will get the ball to start the half. But, New York, their second and third drive were really good. One, they fizzled out, had to kick. The second was a nice touchdown drive to end things, right? And, it kind of feels like they've been playing the same style offense as they did on those 2 drives. The only problem there, Cam, is you have a very versatile and well-adjustable defense here in Oakland. They're going to be able to adapt to your play style. They're going to be able to overcome adversity, and they're going to be able to stop things whenever they become too consistent. You saw that from Tyron Voss especially. And similar plays kept getting thrown his way, and eventually he picked one off.
Yeah, that's for sure. That defense starting to smother this Giants offense a little bit. 2 turnovers on the day for the Giants. That really is the telltale sign, isn't it? I mean, I know they didn't get points off the last one, but that fumble by Simpson, first play from scrimmage of this game, that really, unfortunately, put the Giants kind of on their top, rather, kind of spinning there, trying to get off the ground.
Yeah, it's like they were starting a foot race, side by side, let's say 200-meter sprint, but the Giants are starting laying down, and the Raiders are up in a 2-point stance ready to run, right? They get a head start, then the Giants have to get up and then start running. I mean, it's going to be hard to catch up.
It is, as you see, Tangenti there, the halftime hero. We'll see if he's able to follow through with that and pick up the player of the game. We welcome you back here to the Black Hole. As we said, an intimidating place for anybody to come play, but when it counts as a trip to the AFA championship game for the Evan Lacey Trophy, it gets that much more rigorous. As we have 2 quarters left to play, 8 minutes remaining here in this third frame. As you know, our regular time here, 16 minutes of football left. Here's a run back out to the 30. I want to take a quick minute and just mention the Pro Bowl that will be coming up. That's going to be very exciting, folks. We have actively been working behind the scenes, getting some users here of the AFA Discord to manage 2 Pro Bowl squads. So that is coming up very soon. Something to be excited about. Going to be a very fun, exciting format. An exciting game that we'll have a chance to call for you. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. Here's Tangenti on the run. 9.5 on the first play from scrimmage of this third.
Yeah, I mean, nice start here for Oakland. You're taking charge on this drive. You want to come out of the gate. This defense is going to be well rested. Try and tire them out early.
They give to the big man.
There we go.
Yeah, I guess what would you say he is the Bubba Rig of the Oakland Raiders here? That's Stanley for the first.
Oh, come on now. That's just disrespectful to Thaddeus. He ain't no Bubba Rig. That's like a small Chevy Cruze compared to the Bubba Rig.
No, there was no means to offend there. I'm just saying for this Raiders compartment, yeah, the Bubba rig is, as we said, he's a semi. This is a little family-size SUV, but it works.
Yeah,
It
nice
works for that play
hatchback in the
formation.
backfield.
Yeah, exactly. You got the EV charger there for the kids wanting to play the DVD player
Yep,
while it's
yep.
charging up. Yeah, I get it.
Got the whole
You,
dash
you
lit up with engine lights. Yep, I understand.
yeah, you get what I'm trying to say.
Windows don't roll down. Got cigarettes everywhere.
Everywhere.
In Oakland, I feel like it fits, right?
It does fit. That's right. See, you get what I'm trying to say. That pass incomplete, tipped away by William Simpson. He's had a pretty good day on defense today.
Yeah, I mean, he's just playing his role really well, right? They've been setting him up in spots. Not so much a man look here for the Giants. They're playing a lot more of zone schemes more often than not, and that's kind of where Simpson's starting to thrive.
Here's White. Launches it into a crowd of white jerseys. Again, Simpson emerges with the tip away.
That one probably should have been taken the other way. Whenever the gunslinger makes those risky throws, you have to make him pay for them. You have to. That's the only way you can beat this Raiders squad, because Tangenti isn't going to fumble, right? Brady White will make those risky throws. It's just a matter of, can you make him pay for them?
We haven't seen it much this season, but on occasion, we have seen White force a couple of throws that got away from him. He got bit, and, like we said, it's been a pretty clean year for him, but there are those moments. You're right. So, as a defense, you got to take advantage of those golden eggs that land right in your basket, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, we know White's a good quarterback, but he is not afraid to make a risky throw with defenders in the area if it means getting a big sum of yardage.
Alexander throwing, again, looking for that inside seam there on that inside post to Emmett Ellis, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, you had Voss again playing a more shallow zone, almost had a hand on it, and then the Raiders over the top to safety, able to get in front of the route and make sure that one wasn't brought in.
As we talked about the more balanced offense today, there you've seen it, 17 passes to 11 rushes for the New York Giants. That has certainly had to help in some aspects. Alexander gonna throw, goes right back to that same play and finds Ellis for the first.
See, now that there is one of the plays where they have an over-the-top safety and then the other safety playing down closer to the line of scrimmage, right? And then there's the corners manned up with one another, and the receiver just got well away from the corner there.
Yeah, that they did. Now they go back to the ground, as we said, managing pretty nicely today. A nice mix of both. Simpson does not get much on that one, however.
Yeah, none at all. Nothing really to open up from the offensive line. But I like mixing up the run there. It felt like a couple passes straight. Like we always talk about, got to keep the defense honest.
Yeah, you got to make sure that they respect your run game. 2nd and 7, split backs here. And it is another give. Stretching this one out wide. They look going lateral for some reason, and it's not worked either time they've tried it. Simpson behind the line. No, Drew, who's been quiet today, gets the TFL.
Football is a north and south game. There is no need to run east and west. Even if you cut that upfield, I mean, a few seconds earlier, you may gain yardage, but you certainly won't lose two.
3rd and 9, and that was going to be tipped and incomplete. A pretty solid-looking drive there for the moment goes awry for the Giants. Once again, they'll have to punt this one away.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back runs net together 1 yard combined. You gain a decent amount on the first and then lose pretty much all of that yardage gained on the second. That's not a good formula for success.
No, it is not. As this game, as the time ticks away, you start to get concerned for the Giant faithful that this may be getting away from them, as Oakland will start from the 27. A lot of game to go, but you start to feel like Oakland's getting a little more comfortable in that driver's seat.
Will we see what was predicted, a battle of the best two teams in the league being the Patriots and the Raiders? Or will the Giants come back and prevail? And will we see the battle of the East Coast here in the AFA Championship? I'm excited to see.
Yeah, indeed we are. The 49ers, who played an absolute whale of a game against the Patriots, really gave them a run for their money. I was surprised and encouraged for the fact that the Giants could have an opportunity to do the same and make it a close, tight contest. This has been a close game, in my opinion, closer than what the score suggested. But will Brady White let that stand much longer? I don't know. Look at that. Falling and adjusting to grab that one is Dillian Voss.
Yeah, terrific play there. One of those Giant linebackers got a hand on it. You're going to see it again. 51 bats it up right into the hands. Oh, man, that couldn't have got much better for Dillian Voss. Sometimes, Cam, things just go your way.
Yeah, and for the Giants, this season has been kind of a rhetoric of it going south. Even when they start to get one step forward, they take two back. You get the swat down, which really honestly feels like for the Raiders it would have just fell to the ground, no problem, no harm, no foul. But for the Giants, it lingers in the air until somebody can get under it, and all of that effort is for naught.
Yep.
And sometimes that's just the game of football. It can be, I believe, was it the great NFL Films? That's a great run by Tangenti, but was it the great voice of the name escapes me, but I believe they literally said football is sometimes a cruel mistress.
It is sometimes the greatest pleasure you can feel as a player or coach, and can sometimes be the greatest pain you will ever experience in those same roles.
Yeah, indeed. I believe that might have been Jack Whitaker that said that.
I will take your word for it.
Say
you are correct on live.
I am going back to the 1960s in NFL Films lore as Tangenti is denied. Yeah, nice stop there. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I hadn't even been thought about then. I don't even think my dad was thought about then. 1960.
Yep, NFL Films. Check that out. That is such good stuff. Some of the best. They just had a way of bringing you those games of the weeks with the epic game music and just the narration that kept you on the edge of your seat. I watched that growing up all the time. As that one, Collinsworth just couldn't reel it in. Incomplete.
That was a great throw from Brady. He sailed it perfectly to the hands of Collinsworth. Like you said, partner, just unable to make the play.
3rd and 10. Yeah, I'm going to encourage you, DJ. Go check those out, man. Those old NFL films, Steve Sable and company. On the ESPN days of the 90s, those were on quite prevalently during the week. I spent a lot of time, of course, it being the 90s, I know. But yes, quite prevalently watch those. As that is a good defensive stop by the Giants. It's now 4th and 6. The Raiders got to punt it away.
Cam, once again, we see that 3rd and long shovel pass. Bury it deep down in the back corner of your vault, and do not open it again in these playoffs, because that is a play that can go south very quickly.
No, the punter tried to come up and make the tackle. Jermaine Hawk literally sent him on a 8-second ride like it was a rodeo. Did you see the punter go flying off of Hawk's body?
Love the effort. He'll feel that later, though.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
Coach tells him to get out of the way, but those punters, they yearn for contact.
Yeah, they want to be part of the madness too. Here's Alexander. Gives to Simpson. That's more like it. That north and south, just churning the legs, keeping the pile moving forward. That's what you got to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that gets you, it sets up your later down scenarios for, keeps your playbook open. 2nd and 4 here, you can literally see anything.
Again, they try to pop it out left side wide, and it's once more a loss. Back to a 3rd and 10.
I mean, at some point, you have to cut this scheme out. At some point, you have to stop running it to the outside, because every time you do, one of these edge rushers get around the edge just in time. The linebackers shoot to the outside and make a play. I mean, it's just consistently putting you behind.
Alexander up and over. Incomplete. Couldn't come down with it. Intended for sad neighbors who, to their credit, the Raiders have really locked down on today.
Yeah, they sure have. Now, let's look back at that pitch to the outside, right? It was 2nd and 4. You had just had a 6-yard run right up the middle. You then decide to pitch it, only needing 4 yards, even though you just gained 6 right up the middle. You pitch it, you lose those 4 yards, you lose those 6 yards you just gained. You make it 3rd and long. That is the definition of letting the defense dictate your script, right? Yeah. You had yourself in a good position. you set yourself up nicely for third down, and you just hand it away.
You're exactly right. My apologies there for the John Madden oomph I let out there. That hit on that return by Cousins was rather brutal and kind of caught me off guard. As we got Brady White throwing on first down the middle of the seam again. It's Trevor Austin. I tell you what, that's kind of his coming out party. He's had a really good year, but this just feels like he's cut it up to a higher level in this game particularly.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, partner. Like, we knew Trevor Austin was capable of putting up these numbers, but the Raiders like to share the rock. They like to get everybody involved, but in this one, Trevor Austin is just exploding onto the scene.
Yeah, it kind of having a, like I said, here I am with my comparisons, but it reminds you of how you would see, go to Jerry Rice, with Montana and some of those quarterback greats. They have that one guy that they just know they can get the ball to. They're going to make a big play for the Raiders. That's turning into Trevor Austin. 2nd and 7. Here is White again throwing one-on-one coverage. And as I say that, here's a guy, Chris Collinsworth, on the other side for a first down.
He got thrown that corner route earlier and wasn't able to make anything happen with it. Brady trusts him. He gives him another shot at it. And that time he's able to win the one-on-one.
Yeah, the one-on-one on Billy Millie, who comes up nilly-willy there.
I love it.
Sorry, folks. You had to be subjected to one a game, okay?
See that? Somebody just threw a rotten tomato at the booth. This is
terrible. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of those riffs from Boston.
Oh, man. I knew it.
White with the give to Tangenti. Not much there. 2 yards. Final seconds ticking away in this third quarter.
See, I thought we'd be safe. The Patriots not playing, but it was funny that they sent Brady an email, the officials and the front office personnel in New England. They said, "Hey, just for the game, let's not have DJ on the call for the playoffs. The refs are feeling a little bummed out, so he had to sit on the bench for that game." But,
listen,
it
that tomato had a note attached to it that said, "See you next week." Raiders lead the Giants 21-10. You're watching the AFA on YouTube.
They sure will.
Cameron and DJ here with you on the call, hoping to get out of Oakland alive. 3rd and inches as we start this fourth quarter. Nobody scored in that third quarter. It was a quarter for the defenses. Here's a big play. 3rd and inches up the middle. No need to do anything else.
Yep, exactly. Why would you? You have a strong back in the backfield, handed off right up the middle. Great play call from Coach. That's what we've been chirping about all night.
Indeed it is. Now, trips to the right side. Pressure coming. They give the Tangenti. Stopped after, I was going to say about a 4-yard gain, but he just went ahead and ran for 2 more as he took the Giants defense and put them on his back.
2nd and 4.
Quickly back up here to the line of scrimmage. Not much time wasted. 2nd and 4, as we said, ball on the 7-yard line. Again, pressure being shown. They pop it out left side. Oh, that was a nice play. I thought he was going to spring him for the first. Sad Scat make the touchdown saving tackle.
The Raiders get the play they want. They're halfback and one-on-one with the defensive back. Not every time it's going to go in your favor, though. Sad Scat making the tackle.
No, indeed. Now 3rd and 1. Congestion. Not going to be able to get him to the corner. Touchdown. How about Ash Tangenti? That's his 3rd touchdown of the day.
The vision, the power, the agility. He gets caught behind the offensive line, all that congestion. A nice block from the tackle to force number 98 there to the outside. That's Slappy Clappy, the defensive end, forced to the outside. Tangenti sees that small gap. Shoots for it, breaks a tackle, and he's gone.
Partner, you better make sure that the refs didn't spike your drink there. Trying to get rid of you before the championship game next week.
Flipped a muscle relaxer in there, I guess.
Well, I mean, it is California.
We're starting to go numb.
We got a man down, folks. I'll have to take you home the rest of the way. 6:47 remaining here in the fourth as we've got Oakland trying to cruise their way to the AFA Championship game to meet the Patriots. The Giants, though, with some time, but this is going to have to really force them to move the ball quickly, not something they're able to do effectively.
Yeah, I mean, both of their successful drives we've seen out of them have been a nice mix, like you said, and almost entirely supported by the run first, pass later. You can't really do that too much now.
No, you cannot. There is that east-west type of draw play that we don't like to see. And I'm going to give you a minute to analyze it. Forgive me for stepping over my time limit here, DJ, but I just want to say this. You start 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then you run it left-right. What are you doing?
I mean, like we had said, they're just trying to get too cute. You think, it's very hard because you have defensive backs. Oh, what a hit. You have defensive backs over there. You have the defensive linemen playing around the edge. And it's funny because whenever you run those type of plays, usually it's the defensive backs, because sometimes those receivers don't like to block. They're receivers. They can't block that well sometimes. So a defensive back will break off, make the play. But we're seeing these linemen get around these tackles very effectively.
Yeah, we are. They're flying. And how about this? That's a nice quick release.
Oh, wow.
On the sidelines. Sad Neighbors still in bounds. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, New York. This game not over.
Wow. I mean, again, they attack the side of Tyron Voss. He makes the catch on the sideline. And I love the awareness there from the receiver. Makes the catch on the steam route. Barely gets past Voss. Makes the smart heads-up play to keep his feet in bounds, and after that, he's gone.
Yeah, that was a play that if you'd paused that when the football was in the air and then told me this is going to go for a touchdown, I would have told you you're crazy. It did not look like a formation that had that capability of that magnitude. But nevertheless, it is a touchdown. Lee Kibble with the extra point. It's good. It's back to an 11-point game. That's what you need. 3 plays, just over a minute's all it took.
Yeah, you need to play with a little bit of explosiveness that we've seen the Raiders play with at points in this game. Scoring on just a few plays, that's exactly what you need. And now you need your defense to come out and make another big stop to get you the ball pretty quickly. You're down 2 possessions here. I mean, you're going to need something from your defense.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? 5:40 left. Brady White and company still going to have to try to force the football. You can't rest on your laurels and just, run this thing. You can run it, but, they're going to have to go to the air a couple of times, you would think. This is where the defense needs to take advantage of an aggressive pass if it comes their way. But will it, is the question. Split back shotgun here. Or, no, I'm sorry, not split backs. That's one to the left of Brady White. That's Tangenti. They do run it, pick up 3, and they'll be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the Raiders, they've been a little bit more balanced, I feel. But I feel like the bulk load of their production, of course, has been from Tangenti. You see his insane splits. This is a very polar opposite attack that we're seeing, from the Giants. A lot of their success coming from the outside. 6 for 56 to the left side and 6 carries for, I believe it was around 30 to the right.
5:16 remaining. Here's a give. Tangenti met immediately at the line. Maybe gets 2 as he falls forward. Brings up an important, third down. Wow. And boy, that's not what you want to see late in this one. The Joker, your linebacker, going down.
Yeah, that weakens the middle of your defense a little bit. Thankfully for them, they still have Brody White playing in the center of the field. But like I said, that's going to weaken you just a little bit, especially on a drive where the Raiders clearly want to run the football.
Big play coming here, folks. 3rd and 5. Not much time has been taken off the clock. Got to advance.
Oh, wow.
We talked about it. Big play coming back the other way. It's Billy Millie with the INT.
And that's the plays we are talking about. You mentioned it as the play was made, partner. Taking advantage of the risks that the gunslinger takes. Billy Millie takes a wide U-turn there to get back chugging ahead, and a big hit made by Big 78 on the offensive line. Clearly not happy with what just transpired. The Giants, like we said, they need a defensive play. Their defense gave them one already past the 40. A huge chance for them to come back.
That they did. This season not over yet. If it's played right, that pass incomplete, nothing forming there. That ball goes to the ground. Might have been tipped by No Drew. It's 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you what, partner, these little one-step drops we see from the Giants aren't really working too well in this game because the edges are crashing so quickly that he's like stuck in the middle of the pocket.
Yeah, indeed. There's a drop that looks a lot better, dropping a dime to Malik Sadneighbors coming along in the end here of this one.
Yeah, he makes the catch past the defensive back, forces the safety to make the cleanup tackle after Sadneighbors a yard away from the century mark on only 3 catches.
Split backs. Alexander going to step up, heaves it, complete to the 5, fighting hard. Trying to get the first is Tito Austin, and he does.
Very nice drawn up play there. You see Alexander take a step up. He doesn't want to get caught by those edge rushers around the edge. And just a nice little hitch route. Tater Tots expected a route more upfield. You could see him kind of notice the receiver stopped and try and come back to the play. But by that point, it was too late.
In the week of practice leading up to this game, you could tell they have tried to work on Alexander's footwork. Here's a throw to the end zone. Touchdown, New York Football Giants.
Can we see a miracle for the Big Blue? A huge touchdown puts them down 5 prior to a extra point or 2-point conversion. I don't know about you, partner. I'd actually like to see them go for a 2-pointer here.
Yeah, I would agree. Try to get this in the and I think we will possibly see that. No. Fake this out. Kibble.
Oh!
They did fake it out.
He's in!
Oh, they gave it to the backup QB who runs it in.
I cannot believe it. Partner even hurdles over one of his blockers. What a play. The Giants pulling out every stop at their disposal to slay the Giants. And by the Giants,
goodness.
I mean the Raiders. Oh, man.
That was actually the punter Feagles in for that snap. And he gets the 2-point conversion. It is a 3-point game, ladies and gentlemen, with 4:11 remaining, and the Raiders a little bit shell-shocked here.
You know, partner, my memory goes back to last week when we saw the fake punt attempt. I can't remember exactly if it was the Giants who went for it.
It was, I
think.
think.
And they tried it again this time on the extra point. What a risky. Well, I mean, not really risky. You're still down by a touchdown regardless of if you kick it or not. But now it's a field goal ball game. Great play.
Yeah, this changes the complexion of this game. Brady White says, give it back to me.
Wow.
Let me get to number 11. Flips the side of the field there on 1st and 10, Trevor Austin.
And those are the exact, that is Brady's hallmark as to why he is a good gunslinger quarterback. And that's because even whenever you make those mistakes, someone's able to get a play for the defense, he comes out and shrugs it off like it never even happened and throws a bomb downfield to Trevor Austin.
You know, the name, the likeness, puts you in mind of the great Tom Brady, but I see a lot of Brett Favre in this guy. Gunslinging, he can stick a ball in some tight windows, and he's not rattled if he has to go back to the well after a mistake or two. Here is up the middle, Tangenti for a gain of 6, and I make that comparison with all the respect in the world. I think Brett Favre is one of the best to ever do it.
Absolutely, and this is the plays here that the Giants need to make. They need to, make these tackles early on in the run. Don't let Tangenti find space. Force the Raiders to throw. I feel like that's what you need to do here. They can do it well, but you can't let them stay short. There you go. Great play.
Yeah, right on top of Tangenti. Stops him behind the line. We haven't seen that much today. Big 3rd and 5, DJ.
I feel like you got to pass here if you're Oakland. You could run. We've seen Tangenti, get more than, I believe he's averaging over 5 yards a carry. This is well within his wheelhouse, but is the risk high enough to just get a few extra seconds off the clock? I don't know. I say pass.
Yeah, we'll find out. It looks like they're going to go to the air. They leave it in the hands of White, who throws.
What a catch.
Give it to your number 1 wide receiver right there. It's Trevor Austin again. 1st and goal.
continuing his record-setting day here is Trevor Austin. I mean, he is just exploding onto the scene. I believe this is the most yards we've seen from any Raiders receiver, if not any receiver, period. He's nearing the 200 mark now. Exactly 200, excuse me. That one lofted perfectly over the hand of the defender.
The only one that I can think ahead of him was Matthew Rogers in that playoff game against the Patriots. They come up short. It looks like the Raiders, with this 2-minute warning, are about to seal the deal. We'll find out. It's not over. You're watching the American Football Association on YouTube. And if this does not show you the growth of this league from week 1 to this playoff game right here, a chance to go to the AFA championship game, these teams, these players, they have grown and developed so much. First and goal, Tangenti fighting hard, takes 2 to bring him down. Timeout called.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're the Raiders here, a touchdown is mandatory. Yes. A field goal here makes it a 6-point game and still leaves the back door slightly creaked open for the opposing Giants. And with that first run, I mean, it looks in their favor.
Yeah, indeed.
Only a couple
of yards to go here. Wyatt, yep, going left. Tangenti for the 4th touchdown. That will more than likely cement their chance to go play for the AFA Championship. Touchdown, Tangenti, number 4.
4 of their 5 total touchdowns on the game. Like you said, 4 of which going to that man right there. Talk about carrying the load for an offense. He's doing so with great success now. Like you said, this one probably the nail in the coffin. 10 seconds left for Oakland. You're going to see them maybe have a chance to go downfield and score if they're able to have some more explosive offense. Then it comes down to that onside kick. But that's only a factor if they're able to go downfield and score here. They know they need to pass. So does Oakland. Those are the situations this defense thrives in. Forcing teams in 3rd and long. That's why they're so good late game when it comes to making stops, is because their defensive backcourt is so strong. You're forced to throw late in games, and then mistakes occur. Oh, wow, what a return.
Yeah, that's a good return. That's going to make it a little bit easier for what they want to do. I believe they've only burned 1 timeout to this point.
Yep.
So they have 2 timeouts in their pocket, a minute and 40-ish seconds to work with. You got to think, you know, they're gonna try to find sad neighbors in Austin, maybe even Emmett Ellis deep downfield for a shot here if they want to, as you said, force this to an onside kick. Alexander back, now steps up, finds his man. Wow. There's Emmett Ellis, across the 40 and a timeout.
That one's caught right past Tyron Voss once again, attacking the middle of the field. They continue to do it with such great success. 150 for Ellis. He's quietly had an astounding game. I didn't realize his yards was that high.
Yeah, this guy has been putting in a lot of work this season. As the throw over the top, it was intended for him again, just couldn't connect. The good thing there, however, is that does stop the clock.
Yeah, I mean, that is the positive to look at. You see the Joker there getting on the spin bike. He might be able to come back in this one if he is getting some workouts in. Won't matter much, though. The defense is a non-factor at this point for the Giants. It comes down to their offense, and if their offense succeeds, it comes down to their special teams.
Yeah, quite frankly, you see the Giants' defense again. This game is over, and Oakland is heading to the championship. Oh! Tipped and batted and almost
did.
Yeah, buddy. Van Lacey was close.
21 tipped that one up. It looked like a volleyball set to one of their farther defensive backs there. Like you said, Van Lacey almost able to pull it in. Nearly the dagger.
We've got 3rd and 10. 2 more plays to try to advance here for the Giants. Alexander throws a little out route to the sidelines. It is complete to Ellis, but a timeout called. Their final one, it's 4th and 6.
This is it, partner. I feel like you got to go what's worked. Attack the middle of the field. Put one of your They will kick a 51-yard
Okay.
field goal instead and try and make it a 7-point game.
And then go for the onside.
Wow.
Lee Kibble, the new rookie kicker from deep.
I mean,
and it's no good. Well, you know, that was one way to play it.
There. Let's see how close this actually was. Now that we have another side angle. I mean, that's a few yards short. I don't think that's in from 48, partner.
Yeah, unfortunately and rather unceremoniously, that's going to be the way that this New York Giants season will end. But I will say this, DJ. A big attaboy to the New York Football Giants, a team that only a couple of victories this entire season. And the last time we seen a partner, they got ran out of the building to come back with a chance to play the top-seeded Raiders and keep them within 10. And just, except for a few moments ago, it was a 3-point game. A lot of improvement, a lot of growth. A big congratulations to that squad for the game they were able to play today.
Yep, not what you wanted come the postseason, of course, but you just got to build off of this. This pain will sink with them in the offseason, I can assure you. I have been on a championship losing team, 2 championship losses, and I can assure you, I mean, this, of course, isn't in the championship, but a playoff loss surely feels the same. The wound's still there, and that'll just push you to do even more this offseason and leading into next.
I can sympathize with that as well, partner. Being in that situation myself, you won't be able to shake that feeling until you get back on the field for next season. For the Oakland Raiders, one final kneel down, and the top team in the AFA is going to play the top team on the East Coast. It's West versus, I'll get it right, I'm so excited. East versus West, as the Patriots will play the Raiders in the first annual AFA Championship coming up next week. Congratulations to the Raiders. What an accomplishment.
Absolutely. I mean, we've kind of predicted this for a little bit now. We talked about it in the final week of the regular season, who we thought could be in that championship. And it was hard to pick against the best 2 teams in season 1 of the AFA. I cannot wait to put the star on top of the tree, if you will, for this inaugural season.
Absolutely. Christmas comes next week, folks, when we get to celebrate all that hard work for AFA Week 1 with what is sure to be a phenomenal championship game. Time of possession tells a whole lot of the story. Turnovers may be the biggest point. And how about 4 touchdowns from Tangenti there?
Yeah, I feel like giving your player of the game to anyone else feels like a crime in this one. Brady White had a heck of a game as well. You know, his interception really the only flaw. But even then, he bounced back terrifically, led a great drive downfield late in the quarter, and was able to put a cherry on top for them.
Indeed, we get a look at receiving stats. Austin right at 200 yards. You know, he's got it. I'm going to give him my game ball. You know, we know Tangenti's going to get it as a whole overall, but, you know, I think the game that Trevor Austin was able to play today, truly remarkable and noted as well. You see 2 sacks on the day, Beers and Demolition getting a couple. Just an all-around solid day for the Giants. And that sets us up, partner, for next week in a matchup that we think is going to be an incredible way to end Season 1 of the AFA. So, folks, as we wait and we see who we will hand that most valuable player award to for the game, although we already know that's a little bit premature, but we know who's going to get that celebration. That's right, it's Tangenti. Folks, we will see you next week. Congratulations. It's the Patriots. It's the Raiders. The AFA Championship. You are watching the AFA on YouTube for my buddy DJ Kilgannon. I'm Cameron Duty. We'll see you next week when we play for the Evan Lacey Trophy. Have a good night, everyone.